I would say to you, however, for legitimate fight purposes, Gervonta Davis to me is the #1 attraction in boxing. He's the #1 attraction in boxing. He will fit.
Stephen A. Smith sparked headlines by claiming that Gervonta Davis possesses such overwhelming power that he could potentially knock out Shakur Stevenson in the very first round.
That you could lean on the ropes and ultimately counter Tank. No. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not do that to Gervonta Tank Davis. If you got the power,
I haven't seen you this hyped in a long time.
Listen, Gervonta Davis is the real deal. You got to be in the middle of the ring, or in the rope. If you're gonna be on the ropes, you want to be in the middle. You don't want to be in one of the corners. Not against Tank,
I just want you to know.
Not against Tank. That's what Tank did. We talk about wobble. You ain't never wobbled me and walked right across the ring. I'm not talking about round 2, 3, 4, whatever. I'm talking about opening bell. He walked right across the ring and said, "I'm right here." Wow.
Stephen A. Smith emphasized just how dangerous Gervonta Davis is, warning that leaning on the ropes and trying to counter him is a major mistake, especially in the corners where his power becomes even more lethal. As he highlighted Tank's fearless approach, willing to step forward from the opening bell, challenge opponents head-on, and impose his presence immediately, reinforcing the idea that his aggression and knockout power can overwhelm fighters before they even settle into the fight.
I don't know how good the fight will be, but I think Shakur is, again, like pound for pound, IQ-wise, I think he's even up there with a Terence and those kind of guys. You know, I think the difference with Boots is he's got the defensive mastercraft, and he also has the aggressive power to turn your lights out, and I think that's quite different. Do you know what I mean? Like Shakur, I say defensive. I think that's a bit harsh on Shakur, but he's not a huge puncher, but defensively and skill-wise, he's right up there.
He's a real technical fighter.
Backing that view, Eddie Hearn explained that Shakur Stevenson would likely depend on his intelligence, defense, and precision to control the fight against Gervonta Davis, but also warned that with Tank's power, a single clean shot could instantly change the entire outcome.
Now Shakur wins it because of his discipline, because he showed against Teofimo that he can stay very disciplined all night. And he's the type of guy, he don't really do a lot of crazy stuff in his life normally. So it's like discipline is a thing that is not only exercised inside the ring, it's exercised also outside the ring. And as we see, sometimes Gervonta has problems with discipline, but we have never seen Shakur have problems with discipline. We've seen him be more disciplined at the right times than we've seen him not have discipline. So with the fight being like it is right now, I would lean towards Shakur because of his discipline, but don't get it twisted. If somebody could beat him, Tank Davis would be that person because of his thing.
Roy Jones Jr. said Shakur Stevenson may have the advantage because of his discipline and control, but he also pointed out that Gervonta Davis has the natural talent and power to beat him, making the matchup highly unpredictable.
When Tank is disciplined and got his mind on right, Tank is a problem for anybody. Because Tank can fight better than most people think he can. It's just that sometimes his outside antics get the better of him, and they make people think less of him, but don't underestimate Tank Davis. If Tank is motivated and ready to fight, Tank is a problem.
Roy Jones Jr. further added that Gervonta Davis becomes especially dangerous when he is disciplined and fully focused, noting that in that mindset, he can exceed expectations and perform at an elite level despite any outside distractions.
I'm the guy that's gonna put asses in seats, the views, everybody gonna tune into my fights. If we could act like it was the A side of this fight just because you got the belt.
Yeah.
Let's pretend because you got the belt, and I'm coming to challenge you for your belt.
That's what it is right now.
But truthfully, is he the A side?
Like
I'm the bigger fighter, bro.
Popularity,
I'm the guy, bro. Like I'm the guy, and after I beat him, bro, I'm the face, bro.
Face box, face.
I don't want to hear from him.
Shakur Stevenson stated that he sees himself as a bigger draw than Gervonta Davis and believes that a victory in their matchup would establish him as the face of the division.
This one of them kind of fights where it's like, I remember people watched me with Jamel Herring, and they felt as though I was the best fighter in the world then. So I think that's going to be what comes Saturday night. I think they're going to get that version of me, but
Didn't say Shakur Stevenson ain't do nothing. That's what I'm just speaking as just a fan. You know what I mean? Like Shakur, the 3-time, 3-divisional world champion, unified world champion. So, he's done something, you know what I mean? And he's done something enough to where if people are bringing him up to you, it's obviously because people want to see the fight. It's not like they bringing up, a nobody. It's like, or somebody coming up in the rankings. And it's like, what have they done? But it's like, this is somebody who, y'all in the same weight class. Y'all both hold, one of the major 4 world titles in the sanctioning bodies.
Shakur Stevenson doubled down on his confidence, declaring himself the bigger star over Gervonta Davis, insisting that he's the one who brings fans, views, and attention, and making it clear that while the current narrative may position him as the challenger, he believes that once he wins, he will firmly establish himself as the face of the division.
All day with that shit. And you're going to have Gervonta fans and you have Shakur fans. That's the sport.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it stress you out. This shit is crazy. If they fight, they fight. If they don't, well, they don't,
The thing is, right, and this is why he's not going to be able to beat me. He got one style that he can do. So I know what he's bringing. I know what he's coming with. He's coming straight ahead at me to throw non-stop punches the entire night. There's nothing different that he's going to do. I'm levels above him because I know that I can do whatever I want. So it depends on what I decide to do that night and how I want to go in there and fight. Sometimes I fight in the pocket. Sometimes I move a little tiny bit, but it depends on how I want to fight.
Shakur Stevenson hinted that he's entering the fight at a completely new level, expressing confidence that fans will see a sharper, more refined, and upgraded version of himself on fight night.
Yeah, I felt like them guys was hell of a fighters. Through the years, I done gave these guys credit, but when it really come down to it, I always knew I'm the one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always knew, and I feel like deep down, like they probably won't say it, but they know. I got you. But like I said, if any fighter have an issue with me, because I feel like Tio was jealous of me.
Mm-hmm.
I told him this several times. Any fighter have any issue with me,
let's do it.
Sign the contract, turn the lights on bright, let millions come around the seats to see what's happening, and pull up.
You already know the perception of Tank by many of the boxing pundits, and it's the fans of boxing. You already know how they feel about Tank Davis when it comes to, I hear people talk about his resume. I hear people talking about, well, he's only 1 division champion. He really only won 1 belt. The guys that he's faced, he hasn't faced a top tier elite fighter, so on and so forth. So with that being said, why even want to entertain a fight with Tank Davis? I mean, how much credit are you going to really get, Shakur, besides the money, right?
Shakur Stevenson compared his current form to a standout performance against Jamel Herring, saying fans once saw him as the best in the world after that fight, and now believes he's returning at an even higher level, promising a version of himself that's significantly sharper and more dominant than before.
Leave Tank alone, man, for real. No need to keep beating on a dead horse, man. You too skilled. You got too much value for the sport. You got too much value for, the sport of boxing and your career, man. And, it just doesn't look right. You chasing a guy. You call him out once, maybe twice, but then after that, bro, like, hey, let it go. Let it go. Now you looking desperate. Now you looking like you need him. And on top of that, you putting a price tag if you were to fight him on your...
The money fight. Not only will that help cement your legacy at the lightweight division, I think that's the fight, Shakur, that's going to pay you the most money.
I think Tank is the money fight, but the fight that would interest me the most, the one I think would be the best chess match, would be Brother Roach.
I think that Lamont is very underrated. I'm glad because a lot of people don't realize how good he really is.
A lot of people think that Lamont actually beat Tank in that fight. What do you think?
I do. I think Lamont won. I think Lamont won 7-5, 8-4
even without the
knockdown?
Yeah, without the knockdown.
Kenny Ellis downplayed the debate, saying fan opinions will always be divided between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, emphasizing that it's simply part of boxing, and whether the fight happens or not, the discussion will continue, while Stevenson himself remained confident, claiming he has already figured Davis out and believes his versatility allows him to control the fight in any style he chooses.